The sun was setting over the hills of Elith, painting the sky in shades of orange and purple, while the wind whispered through the dry shrubs that bordered the trail descending from the north. Torith, a young man of 23 springs, walked with long strides, the leather of his light armor creaking beneath a red cloak embroidered with a golden griffin. Tall and broad-shouldered, he carried the stance of a seasoned warrior. His long black hair was tousled by the wind, his dark eyes vigilant, and a sheathed sword hung from his back, ensuring peace in the village. He was a guard of honor of Auren, a rising promise already recognized by his lord, returning from a patrol through the lands beyond the Eldrin Vale. In an instant, a sound sliced through the air like an invisible blade, hurried footsteps, the rustling of leaves, and a muffled cry from the forest to his left. Torith stopped, hand on the hilt of his sword, muscles tense. A figure emerged from the shadows. A young woman, her delicate face bathed in sweat and fear, long dark brown hair fluttering like leaves in the wind, and green eyes gleaming with panic. She wore a simple white tunic, torn at the hem, clutching a small harp to her chest, its strings trembling in her shaking hands. She stumbled, instinctively turning toward a sound behind her, and for an instant her eyes caught a hooded shadow. A tall man, moving like a serpent, his cloak parting briefly to reveal a hidden emblem. A silver serpent coiling around a sleeping eye. Before she could react, a glint of a blade appeared in the pursuer's hand, and she screamed, a sharp note escaping from the harp. Torith moved without hesitation. With a roar, he drew his sword and slashed the air, the metal singing. The man twisted his body, but it was too late. The blade struck his shoulder, sending him to the ground with a muffled cry. The hooded figure rolled away, dropping the dagger, and fled into the forest, vanishing like smoke. The young woman fell to her knees, gasping, the harp still humming with the note that had escaped. Torith approached, sword still in hand, his eyes narrowed.
"Who are you? Why was he chasing you?"
He asked, his voice deep, though tinged with caution that could not conceal his curiosity. She lifted her face, her eyes damp and wary, measuring him in silence. Something in her gaze intertwined with his, a silent recognition, but she clutched the harp tighter and did not reply.
"Thank you,"
she finally whispered, her voice low, before rising with difficulty, her knees trembling, ready to flee again if needed. Torith sheathed his sword, hesitating, then extended his hand.
"I am Torith from Vanth. I don't know who you're running from, but I won't leave you alone with that behind you."
She took a step back, the fear still in her eyes, but reluctantly accepted his hand. As she lifted her arm, Torith noticed a thin trickle of blood trailing between her fingers, and the brief touch between them felt like an unspoken promise being sealed.